Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday Morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from theuptrend.com. In the pre-market this morning, things are fairly cloudy so far. Stock index futures and commodities are trading below fair value. We don't have any major economic numbers coming out this morning, so far the market is probably reacting to some news out of Europe. There is a lot going on overseas, and we've got Chinese markets continuing to move higher on the back of Chinese government stimulus. You can see the huge move Alibaba's had over the past couple of months. At the same time, if you look at a monthly chart of Alibaba, it's really not moving that far compared to the huge losses Chinese stocks have had over the past 5 years. Now, we had some words of weakness from the European auto manufacturers this morning, and that's putting a little downward pressure on North American auto stocks, including Ford and General Motors, both coming into Monday on sell signals. Tesla, on the other hand, is on a buy signal, had an inside day on Friday. It was up $6 and change. It's down $1 in the pre-market this morning. We're still trying to get back up to those highs from July, up at the 265.63 level. If we can take out July's high, then 281.25 comes into play. Looking at the VIX coming into Monday's trading action, all the VIXs are still on sell signals. The only one I really care about, of course, is the VIX for the S&P 500. If that were to close above 1731 on Monday, that would give us a new daily buy signal, and that would be negative for stocks. There's the VIX for the NASDAQ, the Russell, and the TSX 60, all still on sell signals. Looking at the major index ETFs, starting off in Canada, looking at the iShares for the TSX 60, the Vanguard Canada ETF, and then moving to New York, the iShares Canada ETF, all still doing well and trading above the upper trend line, so not concerned about a sell signal on Monday. That's also true for the Dow Diamonds, making a new high on Friday. Fairly quiet trading for the S&P 500 on Friday, new high for the equal-weighted S&P 500, and fairly quiet trading on Friday for the NASDAQ 100 ETF. Did not put in an inside day. It's slightly lower low than Thursday's low, unlike the equal-weighted NASDAQ 100 ETF, which did have an inside day, and then a new high for the next generation NASDAQ 100 ETF. Looking at the Russell 2000, it traded above the upper channel line on Friday, so a close above $221.01 would give us a buy signal on Monday. Small cap stocks still treading water up here at the 237.50 level, and micro cap stocks still on a sell signal. That would change on Monday with a close above $124.02. Now, looking at semiconductors, looking at the SMH, we tagged 250 on Thursday, closed above it, then came back on Friday below 250. So if you had an order in up there at 250, congratulations, it got filled. Now, looking at the Spider Financial ETF, we did trade up through the upper channel line on Friday, did not close above it. Now, that strength did not come from banks or regional banks or even insurance companies. It mostly came from the broker-dealers, making a new closing high for this move on Friday. Then looking at the Canadian financials, it's very quiet trading on Friday, still on a buy signal here up at new highs. Similar situation for Canadian bank stocks. Then looking at the gold sector on the TSX, it came down hard on Friday. Looking for a close on Monday below $23.43 to give us a sell signal, and that would put us back on a sell signal with the energy sector. Let's finish off this morning's presentation looking at commodities, and we had a small pullback for copper on Friday after making a new high, a pullback for gold on Friday after making a new high on Thursday. Platinum, inside day on Friday, no change in trend there. No change in trend for silver after making a new high on Thursday. So hopefully you've taken some money off the table up at these levels. And there's crude oil moving up on Friday, still on a sell signal, no change there. Notice that even though we did get a buy signal and crude oil moved up, the pros did not take control. And so we're still waiting for that to happen. Of course, right now we've got the pros have taken control of natural gas. Natural gas ran up and tagged our next price target at $2.93 on Friday. So congratulations if you had an order in up there. If we can take out $2.93, then $3.13 would be our next target to the upside for the natural gas futures contract. Okay, folks, that's all for this morning's presentation. Expecting a fairly quiet open on Monday on the downside. No major economic numbers coming out this morning, and so month end should be fairly quiet for the North American markets. Enjoy the rest of your day. Next time you'll hear my voices on Tuesday morning, and at that time we'll take a look at the most actively traded North American stocks.